What's up, Bills Mafia? The Buffalo Bills continue their mission to improve every single week, always pushing for perfection, always chasing that ultimate goal, bringing the Lombardi Trophy home to Western New York. This team has battled through adversity, stayed united, and kept finding ways to win. Before we jump into today's breaking story, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to Buffalo Beat News, and drop a comment below. We've got some major updates about injuries, roster moves, and the emotional return of a familiar face that every Bills fan is going to love. Let's dive right in. The Buffalo Bills head into Week 6 with a strong 4-1 record, but the road hasn't been easy. Injuries have been piling up, testing this team's depth and resilience. And now, head coach Sean McDermott has confirmed that 3 key players are officially out for this week's matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Linebacker Matt Milano will miss his second straight game with a pectoral injury, while rookie defensive tackle TJ Sanders and safety Damar Hamlin have both been placed on injured reserve. That means they'll each miss at least the next 4 games. It's tough news, Bills Mafia. These are not just names on a depth chart. These are players who bring heart, energy, and leadership to the field. Milano, one of the emotional anchors of this defense, first went down in Week 2 against the Jets. He tried to battle back last week versus New England, but re-aggravated that same injury. You could see it in his face, the frustration, the desire to contribute, and now he's sidelined again. Meanwhile, Sanders and Hamlin's injuries came at the worst possible time. Sanders, the rookie defensive tackle, stepped up for Ed Oliver earlier in the season, but now needs surgery after a knee injury. And Hamlin, a player whose story already means so much to the Buffalo community, suffered a pectoral injury during practice. Both are heading to IR, leaving some big shoes to fill. So the big question, who's next up for the Bills? On defense, Shaq Thompson has been taking on more responsibility, filling in at linebacker, and the Bills have also brought in undrafted rookie Jimmy Ciarlo to the 53-man roster for depth. It's the kind of next-man-up mentality that defines Buffalo football. Good news, though. Dorian Williams appears ready to return this week. He practiced fully on Friday and is expected to play. While his season start has been a bit underwhelming, his athleticism and energy could be exactly what this defense needs right now. Milano's absence hurts, no doubt. He's an all-pro for a reason. His instincts, his ability to diagnose plays, his leadership. But this Bills defense has been built to handle adversity. With guys like Ed Oliver expected to make a return soon, there's still reason to believe this group will stay strong against Atlanta. Now, let's shift gears for a second, because there's some feel-good news coming out of one Bills drive. Bills fans, big game Gabe Davis is back in the building. That's right. After 4 seasons as one of Buffalo's most explosive deep threats, Gabe Davis is once again wearing Bills colors. He's not back on the active roster just yet, but he's working his way there. After leaving in free agency last year for the Jacksonville Jaguars on a 3-year, $39 million deal, things didn't exactly go as planned. His 2024 season ended early due to meniscus surgery, and Jacksonville eventually cut ties. But instead of disappearing from the league, he found his way back home, signing to Buffalo's practice squad before the start of the regular season. And according to Coach McDermott, having him back in the building has been nothing short of special. Quote, he's working through his own set of injuries, naturally, but overall, it's been good to have him back in the building. It's good to see him and kind of get back together again a little bit here. End quote. For fans who followed Gabe's journey, that statement hits deep. Davis was more than a receiver here. He was part of the Bills' identity. His chemistry with Josh Allen was electric. The deep ball connection, the big game moments, and that unforgettable 4-touchdown playoff performance against the Chiefs, those memories are burned into Bills history. Let's be honest, Buffalo's passing attack hasn't quite found its deep ball rhythm this season. Keon Coleman is developing beautifully, Khalil Shakir has been consistent, and Dalton Kincaid is becoming Josh Allen's security blanket. But that vertical threat, the one that stretches defenses and forces safeties to respect the long ball, that's what Gabe Davis provided. Even if he's not immediately active, his presence matters. His ability to block, create separation, and command attention downfield could open things up for everyone else. If and when Davis returns to full health, it wouldn't be surprising to see him earn a game day jersey, maybe even at the expense of Tyrell Shavers. Davis's average of 16.7 yards per catch and nearly 7 touchdowns per season during his first run in Buffalo speaks volumes. And you can bet that Josh Allen would love to have his old friend back on the field, especially now as the Bills look to keep building offensive chemistry through the midseason stretch. This is what separates good teams from great ones: how they respond to adversity. Injuries have hit hard, the defense is banged up, star players are sidelined. But here's the thing: the Buffalo Bills always find a way to rise. That's part of the culture that Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane have built. It's about accountability, it's about depth, and it's about heart. Whether it's undrafted rookies stepping into key roles, veterans adjusting their responsibilities, or familiar faces like Gabe Davis coming back to rejoin the family, this roster continues to embody what Bills football is all about: unity, toughness, and belief. Week 6 against the Atlanta won't be easy, especially with key contributors missing. But as long as Josh Allen is leading the charge and this defense plays with its trademark fire, Buffalo remains one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC. Last week's game against the New England Patriots didn't exactly go how the Bills had hoped. After a strong 4-0 start to the season, Buffalo took a tough loss. And in the middle of that battle, a controversial play involving Allen caught the attention of fans, analysts, and league officials alike. During the game, Patriots defensive lineman Corey Durden delivered what many considered a questionable hit to Josh Allen's head and neck area. It was one of those moments that made every Bills fan watching hold their breath. You could almost hear the collective gasp across Buffalo. The referees immediately threw a flag for unnecessary roughness, but the real question everyone had afterwards was, would the NFL actually do something about it? Well, now we have our answer. On Saturday, the league officially announced its decision. Corey Durden has been fined $5,722 for his hit on Josh Allen. The punishment falls under the unnecessary roughness designation, confirming that the NFL agreed the play crossed the line.
Now, this is one of those situations that really hits home for Bills fans. We've seen Josh take plenty of big hits over the years, and every single time, there's that mix of frustration and admiration. Frustration because you want your quarterback, your leader, protected. Admiration because no matter how many times Allen gets hit, he gets right back up, fires up the huddle, and keeps fighting. And that's exactly what he did against the Patriots. Despite the physicality and the controversy, Allen finished that game with 2 touchdowns, throwing for 253 yards with an impressive 71% completion rate. He also continued to make an impact with his legs, something Bills fans have come to expect, grinding out tough yards and keeping the offense alive even when things got chaotic. So far this season, Josh has already stacked up 9 passing touchdowns, 1,217 yards through the air, and 3 rushing touchdowns for 212 yards on the ground. Those numbers don't just show a talented quarterback, they show a leader who refuses to give in even when the odds and the hits are against him. Now, it's not just about Josh in this story. The NFL's list of fines this week included several other players, big names like Trevon Diggs, Marquise Brown, Leonard Williams, and more. But let's be real. The one that Bills fans care about most is the protection of our guy. This fine sends a message, at least symbolically, that the league won't tolerate reckless hits on quarterbacks, especially hits to the head and neck. But for many fans, that's still not enough. We've all seen this movie before. A flag, a fine, and then business as usual. The bigger question is, will the NFL actually take the necessary steps to keep players like Josh Allen safe in real time, not just after the fact? Because when you watch the replay, it's clear Allen was vulnerable on that play. The hit wasn't just a routine tackle, it was aggressive, late, and dangerous. And for a player who means as much to Buffalo as Allen does, every hit like that carries extra weight. Bills Mafia knows Josh Allen isn't just another quarterback. He's the heart of this team, the energy, the fire, the guy who embodies what Buffalo stands for: toughness, resilience, and never backing down. And now, the focus shifts to Atlanta. The Bills are heading into a big matchup against the Falcons, and it's the perfect opportunity for Allen and this team to bounce back. After the Patriots lost, the AFC East standings are tightening, and every win matters more than ever. The Falcons, led by their own young and fiery defense, are going to bring pressure. That's a given. And after what happened last week, you can bet Buffalo's offensive line is going to be laser-focused on keeping Allen upright. The offense, despite some ups and downs, has shown flashes of brilliance this season. We've seen strong chemistry developing between Josh Allen and Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir stepping up as a reliable option, and Dalton Kincaid continuing to emerge as one of the most dynamic young tight ends in football. This is a team that knows how to respond to adversity. And if there's one thing Bills fans have learned over the past few years, it's that this group always fights back harder after a tough loss. But let's not ignore the emotional side of this story. When your quarterback takes a dangerous hit, it rattles the entire locker room. The offensive line takes it personally. The coaches talk about protecting their guy. Even the defense gets fired up, wanting to hit back, legally, to send a message of their own. So heading into this Falcons game, the Bills are not just playing for a win in the standings, they're playing to prove something. To themselves, to the league, and to anyone who doubts their resilience. Josh Allen is the heartbeat of this roster, and when he's fired up, the entire team plays with a different kind of energy. You can feel it. And this weekend in Mercedes-Benz Stadium, we might just see that angry Allen version, the one who turns frustration into highlight reel touchdowns. As the Bills prepare for kickoff, the takeaway from this whole situation is clear. The league can fine players after the fact, but Buffalo's focus has to stay forward. Protect Josh, execute the game plan, and get back in the win column. Because this team has too much talent, too much heart, and too much at stake to let one bad week define them. So Bills Mafia, what do you think? How worried are you about the injuries on defense? And how do you feel about the idea of Gabe Davis possibly suiting up again for the Bills later this season? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you guys. Do you think this team has enough depth to keep pushing through these next few weeks? And would you welcome Big Game Gabe back into the offensive mix? If you're proud of the resilience this team continues to show, hit that like button right now. And don't forget to subscribe to Buffalo Beat News for all your Bills updates, exclusive insights, and storytelling that keeps you connected to the team you love. This is Buffalo football. Heart, grit, and family. As always, go Bills.